Hi friends, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name is Holly and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. So today we are going to be doing two things. We are going to be getting some yummy make-ahead dinners in our freezer. And it's going to sound simple, but I'm going to be making burger patties. I have pounds and pounds of ground beef and I like to make burgers out of them because I can cook them from frozen on the grill. And when I got my quarter of a cow last time, I did not get burger patties because I like to make them myself and season them and then put them back in the freezer and let them ready to make them so that they're kind of the way we like them and then have them ready to go. I also make them two different sizes, one for myself and one for Olivia because she doesn't love burgers as much as I do. So instead of wasting and having her only eat like half a burger, I just make little like slider size ones too. So all that to say, they're seasoned the way we like them and they're sized the way we like them when I take some time and make them into the patty shapes myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then get them in the freezer. And then for a yummy treat, I'm going to make some Thumbprint cookies. I was looking in my pantry and last year was a jelly year. I don't make jelly every year because we don't go through jelly. I do use it in baked oatmeal or on toast or English muffins sometimes, but it's just not something that we eat a lot of. It's just a sometime thing. So I'm always looking for ways to use up the things that I make because they're delicious. And so I thought Thumbprint cookies, that's yummy. I haven't had those in like 20 years. So we're going to make some Thumbprint cookies with the yummy strawberry jam that I have from 2023. So first things first, we are going to get these Thumbprint cookies made because they have to chill in the freezer for 30 minutes before you bake them. So we're going to go ahead, get this dough made, and then we will get to work on our burger patties. Okay, so I'm gathering all of my ingredients. I have 1 cup of salted butter, even though it says unsalted. We have sugar, light and dark sugar, vanilla extract, flour, cornstarch, salt, and I will get the third a cup of strawberry jam. I do need 1 large egg yolk, so I'm going to go ahead get that separated. Then we'll have everything we need ready to go. Okay, so this recipe does give us weight in grams and also measurements in like cups. So I'm going to do the measurements because I think it gives you a better result. So I don't have a kitchen scale, but I have like a postal scale. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get 226 grams of butter into here so that we can get it whisking. So we'll zero this out and make sure it's in grams. 226 grams. Wow, exactly 226. Beat this until it's creamy. And I'll come back when it's done. Nice and creamy. And so we are going to go ahead and add in our sugars, 70 grams of each. Start and increase the speed gradually for about a minute. Sorry, got that locked in for about a minute. So we'll do that and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so the next step is we're gonna whisk in or add in, we're gonna add in our egg yolk and our vanilla. So I'm gonna put that in there, get it mixing, and then in a separate bowl, I'm going to add in the flour, cornstarch, and salt all together in here. So I'm going to weigh those out and put those in. So I'm going to get this all mixing in. So first I'm going to add in the egg yolk. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of vanilla. Get that mixing, and we'll measure out. Our, this says 3/4 of a, that felt right. We're going to get this mixing, and then in here we are going to add, what are we going to add? We're going to add 280 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to get these put in here, weighed out, and get this mixed together at the same time, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, we have got that mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and run this through just in case there were any little clumps. I'm going to get this scale put away, and then we are going to add the dry to the wet. Okay, that's looking gorgeous. Okay, so this says on low speed, gradually add flour till it's combined. It will seem very dry and crumbly, so be sure to just pause and scrape the sides occasionally. If it starts to strain your mixer, you can use your hands. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. We'll get this added. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get this. I'm going to get my cookie sheet ready. Got some sugar to roll them in. Clean hands and awesome cookie dough. So this is what we're looking like. Get these scooped out and rolled, and then rolled in the sugar. These are not crumbly at all, but okay. We'll see. I'm sure they'll taste good. I'm going to get these rolled out. And then we're going to put the little indentations on them, I think. Yes. And then we'll put them in the freezer. I'll bring you back here. So we are at the thumbprint part of the thumbprint cookie. So again, using clean hands, we are just going to gently press this in, trying not to crack the cookie. I know these are generally looked at as like a Christmas cookie, but who's to say you can't have Christmas cookies all year round? And I think these are also really good with different flavor jams or jellies and almond extracts instead of vanilla, and you can change these up a lot of ways. Only had one crack, so we're looking pretty good. Okay, now we are going to put this in the freezer and chill for 30 minutes. And while this is chilling, we are going to get our kitchen cleaned up and then our meat formed into patties. And then we will bake these off and put our patties, burger patties, in the freezer. All right, my friends, I think I have everything I need. So this may seem like a lot for burgers, and it is, and that's why they're delicious. So the first thing I did was grabbed one of the packets of the diced shallots that we did. Now, if I were just eating this by myself, I would just add this in. Since my picky eating mini version me is eating, I'm going to just run this through the food processor. When I have these fresh from the garden, normally I'll just run them over a grater so you get like the juice and the flavor of an onion or a shallot, but you don't get the chunks. So same thing we're going to do here. Basically, we're just going to run it through the food processor really quickly and turn it into like a liquid puree, if you will. Chunky. Like a slushy because they're frozen. It smells so good. Is that a necessary step? Maybe not. Am I going to enjoy these? Yep. Okay. So let me move everything to the side. We're going to get our pulsed up shallots. Okay, so we've got our shallots in there. We're going to add some black pepper. Now we've got, how much do I have? I have 3 pounds of ground beef right here. Well, a little over 3 pounds. They're each like 1.2 pounds. So got enough seasoning in there for 3 pounds of beef. That's good on the pepper. Gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. Now, sometimes I add Worcestershire sauce. Sometimes I add liquid aminos. It just kind of gives something for that umami, yummy flavor. So I'm just gonna add this much. Again, not a recipe, more of a feeling. So I'm just gonna get this all mixed up. I think with that extra liquid from the liquid aminos, I think it might pulse up a little bit better. Maybe not. And we'll just put it back in the bowl if it doesn't. I think that is a little more what I'm looking for. I'm gonna run it through one more time and then we'll get it back in our bowl. All right. That's a little better. I think the reason I love burgers so much is because you can season them all different ways. Sometimes I'll do like Greek burgers. Well, I'll stuff them with like feta, and I'll do just more of like Euro type seasoning. Sometimes I've done chicken burgers, salmon burgers. I just think burgers can be judged up so many ways. My child is not as adventurous yet as I am, or she will be as she gets older. So for right now, kind of sticking to more of the classic flavors is more enjoyable for her palate. And that's fine with me. I like these flavors too. So I'm not going to add salt because the liquid aminos is kind of like soy sauce where it's got that saltier vibe. Before I open up the raw meat, I am going to get some cheese cut up. I don't know how much I'm going to need, but I want to get it cut up before I'm doing some raw meat. So I'm going to get a small cutting board. Grab a small cutting board and just have some of this sitting off to the side. Now, I usually have my cheese from Azure Standard, but I grated all of that, so I didn't have any block left. Sometimes I'll remember that I'm going to do this and get a block, but I did not this time, so that's okay. Depending on how big the burgers are. All right, that is probably more than enough cheese, but I'd rather have it all cut up. You know, you have to make sure things are good before you put them in your food. Okay. I'm going to get these kind of spread out so that if I do have to grab them, I don't have to touch the whole pile to grab them. Okay. I think we're not going to have this many burgers. So this is great. Okay, get this off to the side. Now, I think the only thing left to do is get these patties formed. I usually freehand, but I do also have a patty making set. It's just like a cheap one that I found on Amazon, but it's fun to use. So I'll get this set up. We'll get all our burger. I also have the parchment paper squares to go in between the sheets, and I just pull out a few so that they're ready to go, and I can just pull the top one. Okay, so we're going to start a little bit of an assembly line after we get the burgers in here. So I'm going to cut the burger meat into here, and then we'll get it mixed up. Not necessary to use gloves, but I will today. Okay, so sometimes when I'm touching raw meat, I prefer to wear gloves, and sometimes I just get in there and mix it. Okay, so we've got all our seasoning in there. We've got our mini burger size, our big burger size, and the thingy-mabobber to stuff it, if we're gonna stuff it. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get mixing. Once it's well combined, these burgers won't take too long to come together at all. I just think there's something nice about being able to change up the flavor profile of something as easy and quick to put together as burgers. So to have these like pre-seasoned, if you will, and then ready to cook from frozen, because burgers I can just throw on the grill from frozen. They'll cook just fine, or I can thaw them out. They'll cook fine. I can throw them in a cast iron. All the ways. Okay. Let's see. So first I'll do some for Liv. We'll do these tiny ones. Aren't these cute? Let me get a couple of these going for her. I've done the same thing with a mason jar ring. If you want them really uniform, a lot of the times I just freeform these, but it's cute for when you're having people over and, you know, just a little more uniform. Get some of these. Sometimes I'll stuff hers, sometimes I won't. She doesn't really like warm cheese. I know, grilled cheese. It's a staple, right? It's not her favorite. So if I stuff it, she usually ends up just pulling it out. So I might leave hers unstuffed this time. And we'll just repeat that process. So we got 4 minis and we have 6 grown-up size stuffed ones. So I'm going to get these in the freezer to flash freeze, and then I will put them in some vacuum packer bags, and we'll get these vacuum sealed up into individual size servings. I'm going to get these on a tray, put them in the freezer, and then I'm going to disinfect the counter and all the stuff. And then we will grab the cookies from the freezer and get those in the oven. Okay, so now we have our frozen empty Thumbprint cookies, and we are going to take this and heat this for about 10 seconds in the microwave and put some jam into each Thumbprint. I don't know how much of this to use, so I'll start with that. I think it's like a third, maybe half a cup. That worked. Oh, that smells so good. Okay. Now this is not hot, but it's spoonable. So we're going to go with that. All right, so we've got our spoonable strawberry jelly or jam. We're just going to go ahead and fill up each one of these. I don't know if I'm overfilling these or not. I love trying these out when it's not the holiday season because you can learn, figure out would I put more jam in, would I put less jam in, would I do a different flavor combination, so that by the time the holidays or whatever come up, you've kind of worked out all the kinks, if you will. But I am a believer that it's the effort and the thought that counts. So I would absolutely, unless I burn them in the next 10 minutes, I would absolutely serve these to my friends or put them in gift boxes, even if they didn't turn out picture perfect, because that's real life. So I'm going to get these filled up, and then we will stick these in the oven because the oven is just about preheated. Oh, I was so close to having the right amount. The oven is just about preheated. So as soon as it beeps that it's preheated, we will put these in for 11 minutes, but I'll keep an eye on them. Oh, looks like we're going to need another spoonful. Yep, that one was a little warm. I'll scoop that up so it doesn't burn. Okay. The oven is almost to temperature, and then we'll put these in. Okay, now we're going to let these cool completely, and then we're going to try them. Can't wait. They smell so good. Okay, they have cooled completely, so now we are going to taste test. These are really good. They're really soft and delicate. Not too sweet, just sweet enough. And that strawberry jam is awesome on there. This is really yummy. You guys get to make these. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today as we got done these 3 freezer meals and yummy treats that we've already sampled. Olivia's home from school. We've already sampled them. 2 thumbs up. So I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me today in my kitchen while we prepared these things. I want to thank you guys so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. If you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We've got much more growing and cooking and preserving to do. So I appreciate you guys so much. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye, my friend.